More logins.
Yeah. No, I need more cowbell. You know, people say I sound like that guy in real life.
Christopher Walken. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You're like,
I don't hear it, but
because people don't understand your accent. They don't
yeah.
understand where you're from has that Brooklyn-esque quality because of the Italian.
Yeah.
But then you say this weird Southern shit like a Cajun, and
Yeah.
no one can figure linguistically. You're an enigma.
I'm what you call, we don't use that kind of language anymore, Anna.
That's offensive.
That's
Cancel.
offensive. Cancel her. Please. She wants to be canceled. She needs a rest. Yeah.
I need to take a nap.
Yeah.
I hurt my back so badly yesterday. How, you ask? A little
Anna,
thing called
how did you hurt your
sitting.
back?
A little thing called sitting. That's the only thing I can guess.
You hurt your back
I did
sitting?
weights 2 days ago. I did a lot of weights and it felt great. I woke up feeling fine because usually if you hurt yourself, you either do it in the moment or you wake up and you feel what you did, right? No, this is gonna kick in at 3 p.m. the next day. All of a sudden I was like, ah! I like stood up from my chair, my back went, and then I was like, I couldn't breathe. I didn't know what was happening. Was that a spasm? Am I spasming?
Could be. Could be that, that could happen. Look, when you get to a certain age, when you wake up in the morning and you actually feel good, you're going to feel odd.
I'm telling you, or something will happen where you just like, somebody calls you from the other room. You're like, what's that? And like, you turn your head like 20 degrees, then your neck goes, why?
Oh,
Why? That's not fair.
I've reached down. It's like, oh, let me get this leaf out of, this leaf blew through the door. I'll bend down to pick up a leaf. Back will go completely out.
Yeah.
And of course, when people go, how did your back go? Yeah, I was squatting. It's, it's 3:30.
Sleeping. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sitting.
I just make up stuff. Anna,
I was fighting crime and my back went out.
you made me think of something.
Yeah.
60-year-old Serena Scott Thomas, she does a lot of the running.
Right. Oh yeah.
She just runs, or like she's like the female Bond girl Forrest Gump.
Right. I'm sure she would love that comparison.
Yeah, but I mean, she just runs around.
Run, Serena, run.
And she's very lean and very thin.
Yeah.
But I always say about people who just do one sport, like cycling or running, or if they just swim laps every day, they start losing musculature. And as you get older, like the ass goes away and all that. You're still very lean. You put clothes on, it's like, oh my God, I want to look like her. But they lose a lot of, they meaning
Right.
me too. We all lose a lot of muscle if you don't, we talk about sarcopenia on this show a lot. And
sarcopenia means muscle loss.
Yeah.
I learned that from you.
It's a fancy word for you're losing muscle and you're getting older. And of course, I would never tell her anything about that. She loves to run. It's her, her safe place. I mean, she loves doing it. She gets out there. It's what she likes to. So I'm not going to say, oh, your body is, you should do some other stuff. Even though every now and she comes down in the gym and she'll look at the weights, kind of touch and turn around, walk out and go, all right, I'm going to go for a run now. And so I would never say anything, but her body started breaking down.
Oh dear.
Because I learned this from ultra cycling. You do something enough and your body starts breaking down. It's just what happens.
Yeah.
Right. And, just, the mechanics of certain things, because you're doing too much of one thing and nothing of anything else. And this happens. I mean, most of the people I talk to in the consults, it's all we talk about.
Yeah.
Right. And so she was in England. I'm just remembering how the whole thing started. She's in England because her younger sister had to have a surgery and she had to do all this stuff. And she went to help her. And so she's in London and she calls me and she goes, yeah, I found a class down the street. I'm in a class. What kind of class? She goes, bar. I'm doing bar.
Great.
All right, knock yourself out. That's great. You know me, my thing is any exercise is good. People go, what's the best exercise? It's the one you're willing to do.
Right.
So I'm doing bar.
And honestly, sometimes a class will make you push yourself harder than you would push by yourself.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like
Look,
when you have the trainer, when you're there, I'm looking at you going, hey, can I be done? And you're like, no, no,
you
point,
gotta
which
keep
means
going.
keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep moving. Keep moving.
Yeah.
So, oh, that reminds me of something else I want to talk about. Let me write this down.
Write it down.
Yeah.
So she's doing bar method, or it's basically like
Version
a
of
mat Pilates slash ballet slash, yeah.
yeah, well,
I
whatever.
know what it is. I've done those classes.
And then a couple of days later, we're talking, and we talked every day, but it's like, how's that bar coming? She's like, I'm still doing it, but I went to a Pilates. I went and did a Pilates. So
Right.
I'm going, oh,
On the reformer or on the floor?
it's funny. I asked her that on the reformer, because I said, well, is this one of those you're just doing it on the floor? She goes, no, the reformer. And she mentioned that. And then a couple of days later, how's that Pilates coming? Oh, I'm switching back between bar and Pilates, and I'm going to solid core. All
I
right.
don't know that one.
So, all right. Yeah.
Vinny's
So
so nonplussed.
I'm like, great, 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 great. Well, I think she did a little going way off the no sugars, no grains reservation when she was with her sister, because she came back and she goes, I feel fat. Don't look at me. It's like, well, okay, I won't look at you.
Avert your eyes.
Don't look, don't look, don't. So,
Don't.
I mean, she's looking good to me. And she goes, I really feel strong, but I've put this layer of fat on. Now, fat for Serena is where the rest of the world's trying to get to.
Right, of course.
Let's just be honest. And I went, honey, you look, you'll be fine. You'll get it back 5 minutes. And of course, she's back home and she cooks for both of us. And now it's all NSNG. And the fat, or what she called fat. And by the way, she kept going, man, I really feel strong. And I'm going to keep, because she's working off of a back injury and a hip injury. And she's going to PT anyway. And she couldn't really run as much. She goes, I'm going to find some of these Pilates classes around here, some bar classes and the whole thing. So she starts going to different classes every day. She goes on the internet, she finds, she goes, she does. And I'm noticing a difference in her appearance, right? Whenever she loses the fat she thought she had. And, we see each other. It's not like we have sex, but we see each other when we're changing. And that kind of thing, that works. You're in a relationship.
Yes.
And
you do gaze upon each other's naked bodies.
And you go, oh, look at you. All right.
Mm-hmm. Look at that little tushy.
I used to hit that. Yeah, that kind of thing. And so she's got some musculature going on. Her butt doesn't look like the frog butt anymore. It's like she's
don't tell her you said that.
She's got a butt again, right? And the whole thing. And it's like this has happened in like just a couple of months, right?
Yeah. And if you're anything like me, you want to squeeze that butt.
Oh yeah. I go
up and give it a little goose.
I do give it a little something.
You have to.
Italian, as you grab.
If I see a butt, I'm squeezing it. Remember that, audience, when you come out to see us live, I might squeeze your butt, and then I'll definitely be canceled.
Yeah, it's David Copperfield. What was it? That was Old Bush, first Bush.
What are you talking? Who's Bush?
The president.
Oh, the first Bush. Was he liked a tushy? He liked to goose a tushy? He
walked up. He's in a wheelchair, and he told the woman, he goes, you like magic? And she goes, yeah. She goes, David Copperfield. He grabbed her ass.
What?
You don't know that? I'm not making this up.
That is bonkers. What?
Look it up.
By the way, I joke. I'm not doing that to a complete stranger. I grab the tushy of the man I love and my dog. And that's it. And if my friend has a baby and I get to hold the baby and just squeeze a little tushy with a little diaper tushy, that makes me happy.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right. So at any rate, so
you're like David Copperfield. What?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. Wow. I learned something every day. Thank you, Vinnie.
I
will never get that image out of my head.
Yeah. So at any rate, she's going to, this is where the solid core place. She goes, oh, I'll go to solid core. It's amazing what she's doing, what she's been able to, just by, because she can't run a whole lot right now, and she's getting some running in, but her body has changed overnight. It's amazing to look at.
That's great.
Because
Well, I'm a huge fan of the Pilates reformer.
oh
I
yeah,
feel like it saves. And in fact, I was going to give it today and then get back in there as long my back is not pulsating with pain anymore like it was yesterday for no reason. Today's just I feel it, but it's not,
yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of when you feel injured, get on those things and at least you can then like do something
No, absolutely.
with resistance,
No, absolutely. And
That's
so,
great.
you know,
I was worried it was going to go in a different direction. You're gonna be like, it's all bullshit. I was like, oh,
no, no,
don't
no,
say
no.
that.
Look,
Don't say that.
I'm always saying, do what you can. And she wants me to go to one of the classes, so I'm going to go to one of the classes. There's a class.
I can't wait for you to do Pilates.
No, it's not. I've done Pilates before. Hell,
Oh,
I in LA. I went over and trained. Remember the early Pilates queen? She was in.
Lottie Burke,
Was that her name?
something like that.
Or something like that. And
We'll look her up.
if you say her name, I'll remember it.
I thought it
She
was
ended up
Lottie
doing
Burke.
infomercials and everything else, and she was one of the original in LA. And when I was in Aspen, like in 1985, 86, that's when the first time I heard the word Pilates. And I was at the Aspen Club, and they had a couple of reformers, and that was the first. So I had tried Pilates like in 1985. That
Mari Windsor.
Maury Windsor.
She died in 2020.
She did?
Mm-hmm.
Of what?
At age 70.
I know she was like Maury's
She
no longer,
died at her Sherman Oaks home
of
with
what?
complications from amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Don't know what that is.
Oh my God.
I know. Mari Windsor, I forgot. She had the whole infomercial about
Yeah,
Pilates.
but back
She
in
really like
91,
popularized it.
she wanted me to come over. She had heard about me or whatever and wanted me to come over. Or maybe it was in 92. I was already getting some press around Hollywood as being like the guy, right? And
Right.
she invites me over to her studio and I put her through some of the paces. I just brought in one little short weightlifting bar and a few weights in a bag. And she was like, that's all you need? I went, let's rock and roll, babe. And I put her through her paces and she was trembling at the end. And then
Yeah.
with her trembling body, she took me through a Pilates class. And that was like the second. She goes, oh, you've done this before. I went, yeah, in Aspen, back in 85, 86, like 5, 6 years ago, these teachers would take me through this stuff. So when people go, have you ever heard of Pilates? Yeah, I was there right at the beginning when it became a thing in this country. Look, I've been in this business a long time. When people go, yeah, you're an old timer, maybe you just don't know. I've done it all twice, 3, 4 times.
I don't envision you on a reformer. So that's all I'm saying. I didn't know that you had done your time on a reformer.
Yeah, I've been on this. I've done it all. So I'm gonna go with Serena and
Pilates has been around for like 100 years.
yeah, his name was Joseph Pilates, right?
Yes.
Or
He invented it
Pilates.
to rehabilitate injured dancers.
Yeah, because he broke his back as a dancer or something.
Mm-hmm.
And came up with the reformer. Look, I know this. I know the history. Look. I know my business. Okay.
I didn't say you didn't know your business. I'm
People.
not implying that.
Oh my
I
God!
just still really want to see you on a reformer
You reeled off this
with
guy
your dance
Pilates.
moves.
Oh, I can do it. Yeah, I will.
I want
I
to
will
see
do
it.
the
I'm going to
reform.
get you to sing a song
I will.
and do your Pilates.
I will sing a song and I will Pilates myself to death. That's right.
Well, don't kill yourself doing Pilates.
So this is a week or so out, but last weekend I went and did something called Momentum in the Mountains.
That's right. How did it go?
It went well.
Wonderful.
So I'm driving and I'm driving and I'm driving. And before long, I'm off the freeway and I'm driving up a mountain. I'm in the western part of Virginia. I'm not in West Virginia. I'm in the western part of Virginia. And going through the mountains, getting there and the whole thing. And all of a sudden, you go over this mountain, you go down into this valley. Literally, you're on this curvy mountain road for about 40 miles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not kidding. There is one way in and one way out. I did hear banjos at some point. I'm not making that part up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I may have seen differing flags on the way there and this kind of thing. And so I get there And I get to this house. And first I go to there's like a little hotel that's above the store in town. And the township is not even a full town. It's like a township. It's a little
Right.
small, and I'm looking around going, what's the industry here? As you go in, it's like, why is this town here? And you could tell the town's been there forever, literally a couple of 100 years. And it's like, but why is it here? Well, you can't figure out why it's there.
All I can see is that it's Highland County, Virginia, but I can't tell where it is, and they don't really have a website.
Yeah, it's not much there. And I'm in the and I called Summers and Steve, and Summers picked up the phone, and I said, look, I'm here. I'm dropping my bag off at the hotel. And the town is so small, they're like, go up to your room. The key is it's not even like a hotel room, it's like a little apartment. Like your key is in the apartment. There's this really nice little gift basket. I just dropped my bag. I turned around. I walked out. I locked the door because now my computer's in there. And I go over to the house. I had instructions to get to the house. This is where it kind of becomes a Lee Child's book. Have you read any Lee Childs?
No.
He.
The Jack Reacher stuff.
Jack Reacher. Yeah,
that's what I thought, but I didn't want to say it.
Because in Jack Reacher, it's always like a small town somewhere in Georgia, and something doesn't fit, right? Like there's something in the town that doesn't fit.
Right.
And what doesn't fit is Stephen Fullerton and his wife Summers. Because I'm driving and I go up this winding dirt road amongst cattle. They have cattle, all over the place in the front. And there's this beautiful home at the top of this area, right? Just this gorgeous home. And it overlooks this unbelievable valley. And I get out of my car and I start walking to the house, wondering if it was, in fact, the right house. And this stunning older woman, and when I say stunning, I'm talking like Serena stunning,
right?
Walks up and she goes, hi, I'm Summers. And I'm going, okay, this is Lee Child shit here. I mean, this is like, it is not making sense anymore. And then I meet her husband, who is, Hollywood good looking also.
Right.
Steven. I'm going, all right, what are these people? What do they do? What's going on here? What's doing? Right? Is this where the cartels drop the stuff in an airplane and then they disperse it to the rest of the
maybe?
What are we doing here? Right? Well, I figured, it doesn't take long because I just went, what are you guys doing? It's like, what are you doing here? Her family's been in that valley for like a couple of 100 years.
Oh, wow.
Right. And she met Steve. They both moved to cities. She went working in the cities and Steve was working in the cities, and they were both doing very well for themselves. And when they retired, they went back there. Right. They moved to Summers, where she grew up. They moved to her town, and their family is big in that community. And from what I'm telling you this for a reason, because these people, Stephen and Summers, they care about themselves and they care about the community. That's the only way I can put it.
Right.
And they want to see this community just thrive.
Right.
Right. So they put on these seminars, these mini seminars, and I think they do one big one every year, and that's the one I was part of. And they had Cynthia Thurlow, she was there. They had Dr. Philip Avadia, who's been on my show several times. They had Mark Cucuzella, who's been on my show several times. And they had me. They had 4 speakers. And, it was just this great day of speaking. Now, here is, it's a Saturday, so people would have to give up their Saturdays to sit there and listen to these long, boring people, including me, speak all day about, the stuff. You have 2 heart surgeons, you have Cynthia, and you have me, and we're just going to lay it out. And each one of us is talking for 90 minutes.
Wow.
So it's not a short dance. I mean, you're dancing, right? And KetoCon, as you know, is what, like 45 minutes, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
you're dancing for double the amount of time. And, but the whole thing is great. And the one thing I wish I had seen more young people there. A lot of the people were older. And
Right.
you wonder, it's like, yeah, they're trying to help themselves, but what are we doing for the young people? I wish there was, some younger moms there. And then I
Mm.
started thinking to myself, there may not be that many young people in the community. Does that
That's
make sense?
true.
I mean,
Was it all locals who come, or was it
yeah,
people who
yeah, yeah.
come and stay at the property?
No, it's just locals, all coming in.
Oh,
And it was a nice group of people, and not a I didn't meet a clunker in the group. Um, they were asking the questions people would ask, you
what are
know.
some of those questions? The starter questions?
Yeah, yeah. Some of them have been going every year and they've lost 70 pounds, 100 pounds, this kind of thing. I met some of these people. I think it started off where they would have one speaker come in, then it was two, and now it's four, and it's a whole day. But some of the people there, but like one of the questions, like one of the things they do is they're very proud of their maple syrup there. They do maple syrup there.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we did like the big panel at the end, when we're all up there paneling, that's the
Right.
final thing. They were like, well, can we have some different types of sugar that's not like, just
Right.
high fructose corn syrup? And I'm like what? And they're like, well, maple syrup. And I'm like, no, that's still the same thing. And they're like, what about honey? Like, no,
Right.
that's also, your liver doesn't see it any differently than it would see anything else. And of course, they're asking the monk fruit, allulose, on and on and on,
Sure.
erythritol quicins and the whole thing. And, it's that thing that you gotta, because people want to figure out, it's human nature. We want to figure out what we can get away with.
Sure.
You know, um, I thought about that after my own cancer. It's like, well, I'm going to clean up my act a lot, but what can I get away with? And then I just
Sure.
started thinking about it, going, you're not a 50% person, Vin. You're all or nothing. So are you going to do this or not? And as you know, when I was on the bike for that one extra year, I would eat carbs on the bike, thinking that I couldn't do it without carbs. And that turns out I was able to do it just fine.
Right.
It just took a long time to get to that. And I told myself I will stop racing and just figure out how I can still be active without carbs. And it turns out that your body just switches over anyway, and you can do just as well. And I get it when people are at these events and they're sitting there going, well, I don't know. I don't
Well,
know. Maybe,
and it's not even just about what you can get away with too. We've been marketed the bill of goods that maple syrup has nutrients in it and honey has nutrients and special bee pollen or whatever.
right,
That, allulose and monk fruit are great because you can have your cake and eat it too. You won't raise your blood sugar. And so
right.
all these things have these specific selling points that are much louder than you and I are. So it's going to take a little while for people to redefine their paradigms on these things.
Yeah,
That's what I thought too. And even as example, because in my desserts chapters, I use sugar, but the least amount of sugar to make the recipe work to make a treat, right? Because you and I are talking about a lifestyle here, not just on the diet all the time.
right, right, right.
And and it's interesting because I still use it's still my instinct to use something like coconut sugar or honey or maple syrup when I'm making these recipes because I'm like, I think there's a subconscious level of myself that's like, somehow that's healthier, even though it's the same. I
It,
know it's the
same
same
thing.
logically.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, and I'm going to turn this into an ad, but um, today, I'm training a kid
Yeah.
for free. I don't know. I don't think I told you this. I love doing this. My
I
neighbors.
feel like,
No, there
oh,
was a
no, no,
woman I
no.
was
Yeah.
helping. There was a
Yep.
woman I was helping at the gym. Folks, as it turns out, I will train people for free. Because I was helping this woman at the gym, and yeah, when I see her at the gym, I still throw her advice, but it's not like a whole training session. But we were sitting around with the neighbors, and the kids are good athletes, and the mom goes, can you show Turner a few exercises? And I'm like, yeah. And, so I said, I'm not just going to show him, just send him over, because Joe Bonadonna helped me for free when I was a kid.
Right.
I'm just returning the favor. And maybe one day, 40, 50 years from now, this kid will help someone else.
Right. Right.
It's like, I'm enjoying this, right? So I asked him to be at the house at 3 o'clock. And as it turns out, I walked in the house and Serena was having a Spanish lesson. So we're basically running a kids camp here where we teach lessons and then,
Yeah.
I'm training them. So
Love it.
I said, be at the house at 3. I'm coming back. I went to the gym. I went out to work out today. So I went out to the local gym and hung out there and pumped some iron and looking at my watch. And okay, I have to be back by 3 because Turner's coming over and I got to train him in my gym, the one that's right behind me. And when I got home, I was a bit peckish, because I worked out really hard and I did some aerobics this morning. And for whatever reason, I only had 3 eggs this morning because I wasn't thinking, it's like, yeah, I'm going to eat more later, but I ended up doing a lot of aerobics. And then I had to go to work and do some work related stuff. And then I had the phone calls and then I went to the gym. I came in the house and I was like, oh man, I need a little something, right? I feel like I need a little something. So I grabbed one of my ultra fats.
Yes.
And I'm squishing it in my mouth. And Turner he goes, what is that? I went, oh, it's a product. Do you want to try it? It's for athletes. And he's like, yeah, I'll try one. So he rips the top off and you could tell he's like sniffing it. You know how kids do when they're not.
Yeah. Wait,
And
how old is this kid?
he's 13.
Oh, yeah.
So he's kind of sniffing it and he goes, what is it? I said, just try it, and he takes a little taste and he goes, I went, you don't like it? He goes, no, I don't think so. I said, I'll tell you what, take another little taste. And he takes another taste. I went, you don't have to finish it. You throw it away. And then he takes a third little nip.
Yeah.
Now he's squeezing the thing up and he's getting it in his mouth.
Yeah.
And I said, no, Turner, you don't have to finish that. He
Oh,
goes,
no, he wants to.
he goes, no, I like this.
Yeah.
I said, well, your first reaction was, bleh, right? And he goes, yeah. I said, what was that? He goes, I don't know. He goes, I expected it to be like cake icing or something because he's tried.
Oh, he's used to having the sweet things come in packets.
Sweet. Right. And he goes,
and by the way, his generation, that's when they first started getting the packets with the baby food and the snacky things and the not Go-Gurts, because that's before his generation, but like things like that. So he was ready for the sweet to pop on in.
But then after he went, oh, this is kind of nutty and it tastes a little flavor of vanilla and oh, there's a little salt tinge to it and the whole thing.
Right.
He got it and he finished and he goes, man, it's pretty good. What is this? And I said, oh, that's one of the things my company makes. And he goes, oh, you make this? And I went, yeah. He goes, how did you come up with this formula? I said, well, I came up with the formula.
Yeah.
So he was like, I gave him a few more. He was like, I like these. And I was like, are you just saying that? But he told me before I told him that it was one of my products that he liked it.
Right.
So, it only took a little taste and the kid went, oh my God, I get what this is. I watched his face come on line with what was going on.
Vinnie, I have given your nut butters to every single human who's set foot in my house.
Yeah.
And everybody loves it and everybody has ordered it. And yeah. I unless there's somebody who's like, I have an almond now, I can't even imagine anybody like not loving it. It's so good. Yeah. I had mine this morning too.
So he ate that. So folks, he's loving it. I sent him home with a bunch, probably handed him 8 or 10, 12, I don't know, just a handful.
Yeah, that's like a drug dealer, getting him high on a supply.
Get him used to it.
And get him hooked.
Come back, So
that's all it took me.
Now, folks, I can't give everybody free product. And I can't train everyone for free.
Well, you can if you buy a house near where Vinnie lives.
Yeah, it turns out you could come swim in my pool and I'll train you for free.
And Serena will give you Spanish lessons.
Yeah. Yeah. So at any rate, folks, if you want to get a big savings, 20% off, go to nsngfoods.com and at checkout, put in promo code Vinnie. Even if you're a subscriber, if you want to bulk up and get a lot of this stuff at home, just buy a bunch of it, put in promo code Vinnie. It's a one-time deal. You'll get 20% off every single time. Not every single time, but that first time you do it. And then if you get a subscription, you can get 15% off. So what are you doing, Anna?
Do you hear that?
No.
I'm going to log off and log back into your Zoom.
Okay. So I'm just going to keep talking.
Something happened. Hold on.
She's going away for a second. I hope this doesn't screw up the audio or the video version of it. We'll see. But at any rate, yeah, the kid loves the product, and there you have it. Go check that out at nsngfoods.com.
It was my Roadcaster. This thing's been screwing up. This is the third time this has happened when you and I are podcasting, and all of a sudden it just gives a screechy noise instead of what it's supposed to, you talking. But I turned it off and turned it back on. Hey, the extent of my tech support knowledge.
Yeah.
Unplug it, plug it back in, and if it still doesn't work, buy a new one.
And
yeah. What else you got on that list over there? I know you wrote something. I know you wrote a word.
I did. Do you remember a book, something to the degree of stupid shit my dad used to say or something like that?
Yeah.
The big deal?
Yeah. Shit my dad says.
Yeah.
They made it into a CBS sitcom with Shatsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about writing a book.
Yeah.
Stupid comments people send me on Instagram.
Oh, that would be a series of delightfully droll comments from very kind people who I'm sure mean well.
No, some of these people.
Oh, they don't? Oh, they don't? You mean the internet's not kind?
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like, folks, I want to say this. As you know, I'll leave your comments up so other people can realize how stupid they sound. I'm not a guy that goes around. The only time I will erase a comment is if someone comes in and is trying to sell something.
Right.
I'll remove that.
Sure.
Right? It's like you're trying to sell. Nah, get out of here. But anyone else, when you trust me, you write you think you're hurting me? You're not hurting me. I'm not hurt. I don't know who in the fuck you are.
Do you get the automated comments from the people who are like, I cured my herpes from blah, blah, blah protocol from blah, 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 Dr. So-and-so. There must be a hashtag that gets the herpes comment because somebody comments about how their herpes has been cured every time.
I don't know.
And I always reply, and I'm like, that is exciting news. I am so glad that your herpes is cured.
I'm glad you no longer have a communicable disease, but
good for you.
Yeah. But there are a couple of guys, and can I just look one up and read one?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Let me see.
It's endlessly entertaining.
Yeah. It's
And by the way, it's as somebody who puts content out there, I don't always enjoy reading them. Sometimes I'm in the mood and I laugh, and then other times it hurts my feelings. I'll just be honest. But for the most part, it's fun. It's silly.
Let me see if
I do a lot of lives. By the way, this will come out after Vinnie and I did a live Q&A. So if you want to watch that, go back to Instagram and watch our live Q&A. And we'll do more of those.
God, there was one that was just beyond, and I can't. Okay. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
So should I play it first so you can hear what I said?
Yeah.
All right,
I'm going to hold it up to the camera so we can see. Is it one of your motivational speeches?
That's one of my little motivational speeches.
Great. I love those. Those are my favorite.
All right. I'll just put it up to the mic. So.
And at the end of the day, they put all the speakers up on stage. You want to guess what the number one question was? What type of sugar can I get away with? I hear cane sugar is fine. What about honey? Maple syrup. Can I have maple syrup? Hey, what about allulose? What about monk fruit? Folks, it's all just the same, a different day. And if you think you're going to get away with stuff like stevia or erythritol, that's like when someone on crack goes on to methadone. Now you got yourself a methadone problem. Stay motivated. I was speaking out.
Okay, so you get it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to motivate people to do the right thing.
Right.
That's all. Right. And I'm going to go back and see if I can find
your good intentions.
So I have, which is a lot, 60 comments here, 58 comments.
That's pretty good.
Most people going, thank you.
And do you go through and do you look at comments and respond?
I do. I respond.
Yeah.
All right. So this is I'm not going to say his name. Methadone is used to treat opiate use disorder. Okay. Crack is not an opiate, and you don't use methadone for it.
Okay.
Methadone is one of the most effective ways to fight against an opiate addiction.
Okay.
I pressed, I hit like. Thank you, sir. Just thank you, because, I didn't know that. So that's good. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. You see, my thing is, I don't know crack from this, from that. I'm not that guy. I just know that people come off the streets, they go to a methadone clinic, they clean themselves up. I don't need the lesson. Even though I left that up because,
Point is, it's an analogy. Don't trade one addiction for another thing. Just try to get off the sweet flavors altogether.
And then, there's 6 comments on, okay. Okay. So this person's upset because I'm telling people not to, she goes, well, I can't put sweeteners in my coffee. I don't give a fuck what you do. Put sweeteners in your coffee. Knock yourself out. But there's like 8 people commenting on that, going, why do you need sweeteners? It's like, it's maddening what goes on, right? It's like,
yeah.
Look, I don't care what you do.
And by the way, Instagram loves that. So they're probably rewarding you for engaging people. And you didn't even mean to.
Yeah.
Like, I was just trying to motivate people. But if they're going to infight about sweeteners in the coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's like, it's not like that's the whole thing where, like, listen to the language you're using. Can I have this? Can I not have this? What can I have? And that is, we're back into diet mentality, right? Where you need to be told by an outside authority what you can and can't have, what you're good to eat. You'll be good if you eat this. You're a bad human if you eat that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's like, what you're telling me I can't. And then we are naturally rebellious, right? So if that authority figure tells us you can't have that, what do you mean I can't have it? I'm grown. I can have what I want. Right. And the thing is like, you're not saying that. You're not trying to be an authority figure. You're trying to offer up information that if it works in your life, amazing.
Yeah.
And if you think that doesn't work, no problem. You do what you need to do. And so I always say too, my response is always, and by the way, people ask me these questions. I'm like, I'm just the lady who tells you recipes. That's it. Right. Vinnie and I have a great time doing the podcast. I'm just learning. It's the same as you. The thing I'm the expert at, doing recipes. Right. So when you learn from Vinnie I'm going to try this way of eating that he's talking about. Then you come to me and I'll help you get ideas in the kitchen and help you be less afraid of what you need to do to make food from scratch. That's it. So when people come to me, I'm always like, I don't know. Depends on your goals. Depends on where you are. Why don't you book a consult with Vinnie? Somebody asked in my group today about how she's been doing it for 3 months and hasn't lost any weight and what's everybody else's experience, right? And it's a very typical question. And I always want to say to people, book a consult with Vinnie, get into the nitty gritty of what your experience is. There's no comment about how tall she is. What does she weigh? What are her goals? Where, you know what I mean? You can't know where you're going. It's that Cheshire Cat thing. Where are you going? Well, depends on where am I? Well, it depends on where you want to go. I don't know. I'm messing it up.
No, I get what you're saying. Look, I deal with that all the time. People will say to me, hey, this is a common phone call. I see people losing hundreds of pounds and I can't, I've lost 20 pounds and that's it. It's like, well, how much do you weigh? Well, I weigh 135 now. Okay, well, how tall are you? I'm 5'6". You're pretty close.
That's pretty good.
You're pretty close to where you need to be. Yeah, but I thought I would lose it faster. I
thought I'd be a size 0 instead of a size 6.
Look, I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
Magic here. I'm just telling you the correct way to lose weight. If you're looking for some magic pill, I can't help you. I can't help you. It's going to come.
I wouldn't even say that you're offering the correct way to lose weight. I would say you're offering a sustainable way to get healthy. And the side effect of that is you'll probably lose some extra weight, and you'll probably heal some things about your body that you didn't even realize was a problem.
Not even a problem. Probably, but you will. The fact is,
I just feel like I have to hedge everything because everybody has different experiences. And by the way, when somebody posts that about like, hey, I've been doing this 3 months, it's not working, I always find it interesting that they never, because people want to help and they jump in. Hey, well, where are you? What are you doing? And how, give us a typical day of what you eat. People really want to help. And the groups are filled with people who are just really want to help. And so it's funny to me that the original poster oftentimes will just kind of disappear and ghost. I'm like, well, you asked for help. People are jumping in. And I always say, just book a consult with Vinnie. Just book it.
Well, look, one of the things is everybody wants the answer. Just tell, I need the golden ticket, right? And there is no golden ticket. It's all a process.
It's kind of boring, actually.
Yeah.
It's not some show-stopping revelation. Or something like, what is that thing that somebody sent us on Twitter about putting a patch on your belly button if you're a menopausal woman and then you'll lose? Did you see that? And I said, what the menopause fuckery is this? It was like you put something in your belly button and you'll lose your belly flab. It's like, what?
Jesus Christ.
And we want it to be that. We always want it to be that and it's like, no, you have to take matters into your own hands. You got to educate yourself, and you got to go to the grocery store. You got to cook some fresh food.
I've seen everything. 40 years in this business. And I was doing it before that, before it was a business for me. I've been on health and fitness my entire life. I've seen everything come and go and come and go and come and go. There is no trickery, folks. You have to believe what I'm saying. There is zero trickery when it comes to how all of this works. Period.
Yep.
So, yeah. I don't know.
Well, you know what? Just let folks fight about it and see what happens. And it is what it is. People, it never fails, because I give a wide variety of recipes because I know everybody's in a different place. Some people can't have dairy. Some people can't have nuts. Some people want to do this as a vegetarian. Some people want to do this just as carnivore. Some people, you know what I mean? Like, everybody runs the gamut. But I try to do a wide variety of things. Some people don't drink alcohol. Some people want to have what's a good, yummy, low carb cocktail. And I want to make all kinds of ideas available to people. And it is really funny because the moment I post something that has dairy in it, I get a bunch of, I can't have dairy. And then the moment I post something that's dairy free, why don't you post something with cheese? Cheese never hurt anybody. I'm like, okay, you guys fight it out then. You fight it out.
Anna, that's
just giving options.
It's funny.
It tastes good. That's all. It just tastes good.
I just did this today. I sent it to Megan. I'll play it because by the time it comes out, it'll be played.
It'll be up on Instagram.
Yeah, it'll be up on Instagram.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Like how you're like, oh, I can't win for trying.
Out of frustration, I did this one today. You ready?
Yeah.
Can I have dairy? Can I not have dairy?
Oh my God.
Answer. Everybody wants that answer. Well, here's the truth. Nobody knows the answer. Only you can figure that out, because I've been doing it for 40 years. And the one thing I figured out is 50% of people can get away with eating cheese and drinking milk and what have you, and the other 50% can't. Now, that's not a study. That's just what I've seen. Now, even with those people, they can generally have butter and heavy whipping cream, but the only way to figure it out is to play around with it yourself. Stay motivated.
So
thank you to the baby Jesus, to the little Buddha with the belly. Thank you to I don't know, all the other Shivas and gods, and thank you for saying that, because the dairy thing is so divisive, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah, it's and people go, well, why can't you give? It's like, because number one, as Timmy Noakes would say, there's never been a study done on it. We don't know. Some people can get away with it, some people can't. And why can't you do it? Because we don't know why some people can and some people can't. I'm not in the business of lying to people.
Right.
I just tell people the truth. And it's funny because all of my low, what people need to understand is the reason I'm always walking when I'm doing my little motivation thing is because I do a bunch of phone calls in a row. And when something stands out from a phone call, that becomes that day's motivational thing. Right. So that's how I figure those things out. I just go, okay, this has been brought up twice today. I need to talk about it. I need to get it out there.
I love it. I think it's great. And by the way, I think that the longer you're at this, because I know right now we're probably at the like 3 or 4 month mark of the new micro influx that we had. And if you recommitted back in January and you're still here, good for you. I'm so glad you're here. There's going to come a point where you realize, oh, it doesn't have to be so inflammatory. It doesn't have to be so dramatic. You just kind of incorporate these life changes. And then every time you slip, you fix it and you move forward. And that's just basically human nature, because we always think too, like, oh, well, I'm either on the wagon or just completely shitting the bed. And it's like, no, you learn as you do these different things. And by the way, you want to experiment with dairy? Give it up for 30 days. I have plenty of recipes there for you. And then try it again and see what happens. Weigh yourself. See if you lose the weight. See if inflammation goes down. There's no way to tell other than doing an experiment with your own body. And that's not a dangerous experiment to do if you want to try it. If you have an instinct about it, just try it. Do it for 2 weeks. Yeah. See what happens. And you'll know. You'll know if you're listening to your body and you're able to just be calm. But yeah, do what works for you. That's why I like what you're saying, Vinnie. That's why I like your message. It's a voice of reason. Cut out processed sugars and grains. And anything else you do is your own N=1 experiment.
Let me write this down.
And if you want to squeeze a cute tush, ask for consent, I guess, is the moral of the George Bush story.
As I always say, just ask for forgiveness. I want to do a couple of things after we do the Villa Capelli ad. I want to talk about a couple of things, but let's do the Villa Capelli ad.
Villa Capelli. I'm going to go to the website right now because I know Stephen was short on product, and so I want to make sure that we still have Villa Capelli. It's not my company, but they're a sponsor of ours, and it's the best olive oil on the planet. Oh yeah, they're in stock, baby. 3-liter tin, 750 milliliters. Ooh, the organic one has got a really cool 3-liter tin. Oh, I'm going to try that one next time too. The lemon oil is in stock. Get it. Oh, the lemon oil is amazing. The garlic oil is amazing. The Santo, which is the pepper oil, is in stock. Not the super spicy pepper oil, but the other, like the bell pepper oil. He's got spices. He's got all kinds of things. The grilling salt is in stock. Go get Villa Capelli olive oil, the best olive oil on the planet. Go to villacapelli.com and use the discount code Vinnie, Vinnie, not with the wimpy Y. And you'll get 10% off your order each and every time. And don't write to us and say, hey, I know you guys like Villa Capelli, but is there another olive oil you recommend? No, there's not. Yeah, that's the best one.
Just go get Villa Capelli.
Go get Villa Capelli.
I was talking to a guy yesterday. Let's call him Joe McLaughlin because, well, that was his name.
Okay.
And he was telling me he bought he said 2 gallons, but he meant 2 3-liter tins, which is 2 gallons. And
yeah.
He goes, my kids were going, oh, that's a lot of olive oil. It's going to go bad before you use it all.
Nope.
They each took a quart of oil from him and brought.
They stole it.
They stole.
His children are thieves.
They stole the man's oil.
Yeah.
I wish I
can't steal a man's oil. I don't care how precious your children are. They cannot steal a man's oil.
I told him to take him out of his will, and he's considering it.
Cut him out. He
is considering it. Yeah. So, Villa Capelli. Couple of.
Or just deduct it from their inheritance.
I put out the movie in January, Beyond Impossible.
It's such a good movie. Everyone needs to watch it.
Apparently, everyone is watching it.
Oh, really?
I've gotten numbers in that movie, and folks.
Wow.
Look, Dr. Drew was the first one to call me and say, "This is your best work yet." And Drew does not have to call me to say that.
Right.
He doesn't have to call me at all.
He could just ignore it, not say anything.
Whenever I see Dr. Drew, and he calls. He's a caller.
Right.
Sometimes he'll text if it's but he will plunk the phone down and call. And I was like, oh, was I supposed to be on the show? Did I mess up? Did Susan forget to tell me? I pick up one day and I was like, "Hey, man, Drew, what's up?" And he goes, "I just have to tell you in person, your new movie is your best work."
Yeah.
Of course, I did the all shucks joke of, "Wait a minute, were the other two crap? Two that you were in, were those crap?" And he was like, "No, oh my God." He goes, "I'm recommending this movie to everyone."
Great.
Apparently, everyone is recommending Beyond Impossible to everyone else because the numbers are
I
what
love
I
it.
found out from Gravitas is just beyond. And I thank all of you who have seen it. If you've not seen it, you may want to give it a look. But yeah, it's kicking ass in ways that we cannot imagine. Anna, I don't want to say this yet, but I told you about this yesterday. If we thought Mike Rowe was a big thing, in October, late September, October, I will be doing perhaps a much bigger thing. Anna knows what it is.
I know what it is.
I'm so
I know the
bursting.
secrets.
I'm so bursting at the seams.
I know.
But a friend of mine, Alan, and I were talking yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say because I know Alan is a podcast listener, and I am excited about getting the word out there in a big way. So, yeah,
This is going to be big.
it's going to be big. It's going to be big. So, I'm happy to do it. I'm excited. I'm a bit humbled that they would even consider me. So, there you have it.
Is it as big as when you and I do an Instagram live Q&A?
Not quite.
Okay.
Not quite that big. Look, we get tens of listeners and
tens of 100 listeners.
like 12 sometimes.
Sometimes 2 score.
Yeah. But at any rate, I wonder if she
scores of listeners. Wait,
did she put up a new thing yet for us?
No.
No?
I don't. She's not acknowledging my text.
Oh, let's see.
The good thing about Megan is that she has read receipts on her text, read receipts, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
You can tell when she's read it. But the bad thing is that I can tell when she's ignoring it. I'm like, girl, don't you ignore my text.
Megan, do you want a job next month? Just saying.
She does.
Folks, Anna Vocino, she's got a lot of stuff out there. She's got, by the way, I made my untacos last night.
Ooh.
Anna Vocino taco dust.
Yeah, you remember I talked to you and you were like, I've got your dust in my mouth.
Yeah.
And it made me happy.
You
did the ground beef with the taco seasoning?
I did. Serena made her famous guacamole.
Ooh.
And we had that with it, and we had a little cheese on it. We did the whole thing.
I love it. Can I tell the folks that we finally have our sauce flavors back in stock?
Really?
Here's what happened, and you can relate to this.
Oh God. I know, but go on.
We had to make, back in June, we made a batch of the pumpkin marinara to send out to retailers, to the buyers, right?
Right.
And many buyers have said, we're going to bring this in this fall, right? To certain chains of stores, which is awesome. And what wound up happening was we had, I don't know, like 90 extra twin packs of pumpkin marinara.
Right.
And so I put them up for sale. I was like, hey, you guys like the pumpkin marinara. It hasn't been for sale since last year. I put them up as like a flash thing. And it wound up, everyone ordered everything. Like it was gone. All of our stock was completely gone. And so now we're back in stock with the marinara, the puttanesca, and the pink crema. So you can get those. And I suggest you do because they're delicious.
Good.
Yeah.
So go check out everything at eathappykitchen.com. Check out everything Anna Vocino's doing over there. Oh, I just want everyone to know, we goof on Miss Shania Twain on this show a lot.
Not anymore. Now she's the executive producer of this show now.
Well, let me tell you something. I saw this documentary. I said, I really want to learn about Shania Twain. All I knew is that she was married to Mutt Lange. Right. And she was a big star. And just like everyone thought, oh, she's a big star because of Mutt Lange and the whole thing. Go watch that documentary. I think
I'm going to watch it. because you talked about it or was it Friday?
Yeah, I think I talked about it.
Yeah.
Go watch
Your drunk episode?
Yeah. Yeah. Did that one come out yet? Did that come out today?
I think it comes out tomorrow.
It comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We had to cut a whole section out of that show.
Don't even hint at what it is.
Yeah, there's going to be a big old.
All I'm saying is
I cut out
Vinnie has never showed up to work drunk, and he never will again.
Yeah, and because I was pissed, and
you were in a way, you were in a mode.
We had to cut out about 20 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
Just cut it
there was a whiskey rampage.
Yeah, yeah. So,
but we'll never be able to tell what it is. So we're just being mysterious. So go back and listen to the Friday show and see if you can figure out what it is.
Yeah, you never.
You won't.
But Shania, I have new respect for her and what she's done, what she's been able to accomplish in her life. You want to follow a strong woman, that's the woman to follow. So let me cut this off. Oh, did I tell my stuff? Hang on. Before you go to Amazon, you will shop on Amazon, go to VinnieCharters.com, click through the banner. It puts a little coal on the fire, gets my train down the track. We also have a super fan page at VinnieCharters.com. So you can go check that out. Thank you guys for paying attention. Oh, by the way, apparently, besides my movie Beyond Impossible, my book is having some kind of weird resurgence.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Your book is amazing.
Yeah. So if you guys
listen, it got me to do this for 10 years.
Yeah.
How that's a pretty good book.
It's called Fitness Confidential. If you're new to the podcast, you might want to read the book because we've been seeing the numbers on that and it's kind of ridiculous. You can get it on Amazon also. So let me cut this.